Morning, folks. How are we all this morning? We'll just get Facebook on board before we go through the bollocks in the papers today, and there's some crackers there. There really is. So, be with you in a second. Right, that's the F&Bers on board. So, yep, F&Bers are on board. That's good. That's me just been notified. Anyway, how are we all this morning? Hello, Kaz. Say hello to your mammy for me. And Julie, you're right, the young fella Sarosa, who's not that much younger than me actually, only 4 years or so, does talk a lot of sense. His programmes are good. So tune into them, folks. Mods, somebody drop a link in the comments, and same for any other YouTuber who appears on screen, including Reagan Elite, All Shorts, Daily Blase, Max, Political X, whoever. Tune into these guys, they talk a lot of sense, some of them. Okay, so it's Indie Truck Davey on the 6th of February 2025. Out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's a beautiful morning. Quite crisp. Frost just weird. It's 3 degrees. That's the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look out your rain, bloody windy. Good morning, Melanie. First of the Facebookers in this morning. Morning, Reagan Elite. As I say, mods, drop links for Sarosa's channel and Reagan Elite's channel into the comments. Thank you. So people can look them up. Okay, they're more or less there, so we'll get this underway. First up this morning is their answer. You know I don't put their answer, all the scum up. But first up is this morning, and it has jail bill now 10 times original cost. New barrel costs soar to $1 billion. And well, I went and had a look. And they're right. Absolutely correct. But since the plans were drawn up in 2014, well, with 3 major factors. Thanks, John. Just back for night shift, it was a busy 3 drops, Perth 2, Inverness, and 1 in Elgin. Anywho, some funds for those who need help. Thank you very much, John. Right, where were we? The costs have soared to $1 billion. There's been 3 major factors since the plans were drawn up in 2014. And if you want to know why the shovels didn't go in the ground in 2014, austerity. We're in the 3rd year of Tory austerity, and the Scottish budget, especially the infrastructure budget, had been slashed. Absolutely butchered by Osborne and Cameron. Anyway, the 3 major factors. Thank you, Callum. The 3 major factors involved here were, of course, Brexit, the pandemic, and the stopping the supply chains, and then, of course, Liz Truss's venture into making budgets. Now, Brexit, that was a real problem. It's seen the cost of building materials, and All Sorts has covered this. This has seen the cost of building materials increase by 30 to 40%. And then it also meant that the shipping costs and import paperwork, which wasn't there before, all had to be met. Well, sorry, the import paperwork had to be met. And of course, we had Liz Truss. Now, during the pandemic, the worldwide supply chains more or less came to a halt. And then when they started back up, everything was out of place. China needed the containers that were all still stuck in Europe, or America, or the South Americas, because almost everything comes to bloody China. So, and then of course, we had a couple of major wars. We've got the Suez Canal more or less fucking blocked off with the Houthis. And we've got the Ukraine war going on and all. And there was an awful lot of building materials came from Ukraine. So, yep, the cost has went up exponentially since the initial plans were drawn up in 2014. And the reason why there was no shovels in the ground in 2014 was because Westminster was cutting the infrastructure budget. And in fact, all the major influences in the increase in costs to this project can actually be laid at the door of Westminster. Brexit. Can I leave COVID at their door? The poor way they handle it, we can look at their door. And of course, the drying up of worldwide supply chains. And when they opened up again, costs soared, and that cost seen inflation go up. But then we had the lunatic trust get into number 10. And we've seen what happened with that nut job crashing the economy. Inflation was high, she sent it soaring. So, these have all been major factors. Right, let's move on. The Looney Raggedy Express runs on the same story. The very same story, actually. I will stick it up for you. Squandered taxpayer money on a scandalous scale. Shock as SNP super prison costs 10 times the original estimate. Let me correct that headline. Shock as Scottish Government super prison cost 10 times the original estimate. You're fucking right, it was a shock. It was a major shock when they decided they were going to go ahead with the project and put it out to tender, and the builders come back and said, no, it'll be 100 million this time. It'll be a fucking billion. You're right, it was a shock. It was a shock to the Justice Secretary, and it was a fucking shock to the rest of us as well. But as I say, the factors that have seen the cost increase all happened out with our control. All of them. I mean, one of the things that inflation did, once again, shot up costs of building materials and things like that. And, of course, labour costs. 2014. People weren't getting pay rises. When inflation hit 11%, fucking people were getting pay rises alright. Because employers knew they had to. So, major factors, and there's just the effect of Truss and her superinflation. The costs went up again, and they were already 30-40% higher when it came to building materials. And then, of course, there was the import costs, new labour costs. All factors that we had no say in. We don't run our economy. No matter what the papers here will have to tell. And as for this SNP squandering money, well, when they be squandered, if they cut the fucking budget in 2014, we could go ahead and build it when the project was first muted. Right, next up, we have the Metro, and it says, shock, huge bill to replace Berlini. The 1 billion prison. As I say, it was a fucking shock. And I mean a shock. A real shock to the system, actually. When they put it back out of tender, I bet you the Justice Secretary had a fucking heart attack. Wow. Right, the eye has UK on collision course with Trump over shock plans to seize Gaza and evict Palestinians. Thank you, Alistair. Thank you very much. But UK on a collision course. UK on a collision course. I haven't heard the fucking peep for Starmer since this was announced yesterday. That Trump planned to seize and ethnically cleanse Gaza and turn that into a fucking holiday resort. We'll get a bit more of that this afternoon when we get into the nonsense that Trump's been up to and how he's had to back down and how really it's time the American people looked at Trump and thought, is it? Because we all think he's lost the fucking plot. We all think his marbles are gone. We all think he is losing his grip on reality, it's maybe time that the American people demanded that this guy was tested to make sure he's no fucking fruitcake. I mean, Biden had to stand down because he was losing his marbles. Trump's only just got into office and it's clear he's losing his marbles. Which he's 79-year-old. It would appear that it's starting to go. Right. The National has, I'll put it up. Where are we? Try that again. Here we go, folks. Very dark image today in the National, and quite right. Sickening smirks. Labour failed to condemn Donald Trump after US President threatens ethnic cleansing of Gaza. Stephen Flynn calls on UK to recognise Palestine, while First Minister blasts unacceptable proposal. Smoke screen lifts on Netanyahu collusion. And apparently at the bottom it says disgrace. 90% of Grangemouth's workers face redundancy. It's no disgrace. It's a fucking outrage. And it's wrecking our economy on their way out the fucking door. But we'll make them pay for it when we get out the fucking door. Because when we take charge of our energy, our oil, we'll ensure that we stop supplying Radcliffe and his refineries. And we'll open Moraine up. Right, that's the National for you. But Trump's lost the plot. Even the Israeli UN ambassador condemned Trump yesterday. Unbloody believable. So it is. Right, the Scotsman has. Locum GPs may leave NHS as they struggle to find jobs. I heard about this on LBC yesterday. It's not just here in Scotland. It's UK wide. Apparently we've got lots and lots of GPs who can't find a fucking job. What? Primary care is calling out for these people. And according to the Scotsman, there's even locums in Scotland driving fucking cabs to make a living. Doctors driving a cab to make a living. Sounds fucking mental to me. Hire them. We seem to be struggling for doctors, and primary care definitely needs bolstered. Right, we'll put a daily feel up. This one's a fucking cracker. Where are we? Peter, I don't have it anymore. We'll go and get it for you, because it is a cracker. Okay, we'll put it up. Here we go. Nationalist Net Zero Minister raised real concerns over approval of controversial wind farm at centre of lobbying row involving party's Westminster chief. Now, this apparently was a donation that was made to Stephen Flynn by the energy company who wanted to build a wind farm. Now, folks, they're trying to cover up the Lord Ali scandal here in Scotland by throwing this diversion in path. Lobbying is monitored here in Scotland by the Register of Lobbyists. So if there was anything dodgy going on, it would have been picked up. It would have been picked up. As I say, this is because of the Lord Ali scandal down there. Now, if you don't know what the Lord Ali scandal is, Lord Wazim Ali was buying everybody in the front bench of the Labour Party fancy goods, clothes, letting them use his swanky apartments, taking them to sporting events, concerts, that sort of thing. Now, at the time when this all came out, at the beginning of the Labour, the latest incarnation of Labour's administration reign, it all came out about Starmer and his wife getting freebies for Ali, Angela Rayner getting freebies for Ali, Rachel Reeves getting freebies for Lord Ali. But it was all, oh no, he doesn't want nothing, he doesn't want nothing. Now it comes to light. He did want something. He wanted the bill to stop foreign money coming into UK politics, never to make the light of day. And apparently he got his fucking way. That's corruption, folks. That is real life corruption. The guy buys influence in the Labour Party and gets them to shelf one of the planned laws that they had in their manifesto. And that was to cut out foreign money going to political parties here in the UK. But as we know, the Jewish lobby owns this particular UK government, and it was the oligarchs for Russia that owned the Tories. Unbelievable. But here we have, it has to be the SNP are just as corrupt as every other fucker. No, lobbying here is monitored by the Register of Lobbyists. Right, the Herald are still on trains, and it says worst trains for overcrowding revealed, and it gives you 10 of them. But we didn't need the Herald to tell us what they are. They're all central commuter belt lines or the East and West Coast main line. The East and West Coast main line fucking notorious for overcrowding. People stoning or sitting in aisles, or in the bit where you go on and off the train, in the doorways. But we don't need the Herald to tell us what the worst is. How about telling us what the fucking best is? What about Scotland? Good story for a change. After all, ScotRail is the fourth most efficient railway apparently in the whole of the UK. And it's up there for cleanliness, and it's up there for timekeeping as well. So how about a good news fucking story for a change? 10 worst trains for overcrowding. There'll be the commuter trains going into Glasgow and into Edinburgh in the East and West Coast main line. Right, the Telegraph has. This is a cracker. Let's see if I've got it. This tells you the direction of travel down that fucking road for some of the idiots. I've not got it, so I'll just tell you what it is. I can't be asked going to look for it. The Telegraph has Tories to kick out low-paid migrants. And this is Kimmy Badenoch or whatever the fuck her latest policies. To kick out low-paid migrants. Now that is to impress Donald Trump and of course to thwart Reform UK. But they're just going further and further and further to the right. No doubt the loony the Daily Mail and the Express will be trumpeting this as a good thing. Yeah. Ethnic cleansing by the Tories. I wonder what they're going to do with all the low-paid Scots that are working around about fucking London. You're going to send them back to Scotland. The Times has. I'll put it off because this one's quite interesting. It would appear that the Chancellor is threatening civil servants. Find efficiency savings or risk the sack, civil servants told. I don't know where they're going to find the efficiency savings. the Tories butchered every single ministry. They gutted them out, right across them all. Pensions, working pensions, health portfolios, overseas aid, Ministry of Defence, they've all been gutted to the bone. So where these civil servants are going to find efficiencies, I don't know. And apparently social media cancer puts children's lives at risk. And this is anti-terror chief calls for online age restrictions. And what they're telling us is that because these social media platforms are no longer moderated and they've never been really regulated, it's fucking Wild West out there. And your children's mental health is at risk, and then of course there's always a chance they would be radicalised. So there's a warning there that social media is bad for your kids. And of course, as we know, most of these platforms already have age restrictions on them. Not that anybody's ever paid any attention to them, but it's nobody fact checking, nobody verifying. Anyway, let's move on. The scum goes with a celebrity story. I don't put the scum up, and what it says is, I wasn't to blame for Liam's death, whoever the fuck Liam is, and that says his heartbroken girlfriend Kate, whoever the fuck she is. Don't care. Really don't. Don't pay much attention to celeb crap. There are problems in the real world. Anyway, talk about the real world. Let's film see what the stars go for us today, shall we? And it seems to be anchored in reality today. So it does. Here's what the stars go for us today. Wingnut leader of free world to solve decade-old middle-age problem by seizing the ruin of Gaza and turning it into a luxury holiday resort. And then there's a picture. There's a big orange man baby, a suitcase with a teddy bear on it, and behind the man baby, the suitcase and the teddy bear is the bombed out Gaza Strip. As I say, the orange man baby, David and I are going to a wee bit merry at this afternoon, especially when it comes to Mexico and Canada. But this guy's lost the plot. He has flipped his fucking lid. Absolutely flipped his lid. And it's time the Americans demanded that he get his mental capabilities checked out, because he's definitely a loon ball. But as I say, we'll get a wee bit more into it this afternoon. Okay. But, wingnut leader of free world. He's definitely a nut. He's definitely, don't know about a leader. And if you talk about the West as being the free world, they obviously haven't visited England, where it's fucking well illegal to protest now. And peaceful protesters are being banged up as prisoners who have committed crimes are being released on early release because the prisons are overcrowded. Wow. Anyway, so as I say, some real crackers in the press today, and the SNP are being blamed for the skyrocketing cost of building materials, the skyrocketing cost of labour, the skyrocketing cost of getting the building materials in for Europe, when they had no control over the major events, really, that set this in motion. But no, we've seen no boffins today. I know the Star's been a wee bit disappointing when it comes to boffins this week. Anyway, Reagan, the week you're right, isn't it? That's it for this morning, folks. I say David and I will be on this afternoon, 4 o'clock. Don't be late. Anyway, on the fucking, that side. That's it, that side. On the naughty step. Okay. In some sake of the building shit, by the way, the Gaza Strip would be even worse looking than what it is the fucking new. Catch you later.